Roll call. Ian Morcott.
I'm here.
I am here. Martin Pike.
Right here.
Richard Bruxton. AJ Lewis.
Present.
Paul Hibbard. Steve Mulberry.
Present.
Okay, we are all members are present. City Council, City Councilman Scott Harjo is also with us tonight. Thank you for being here. And with that, we can jump into new business. And our first thing that we're going to talk about is appointing a secretary. And when we all came in today, here's a little sheet with the description. We want to read over it. And
I can give background.
Okay.
So the reason this is on here is, as you've seen in the emails I've been sending lately, we're trying to make sure that not just the Airport Advisory Committee, but all of our advisory committees are in compliance with Title II of the city ordinance. One of the positions that was required for advisory committee, yeah, please grab whatever you need there. One of the positions that's required is a secretary. I will be very candid with you. We're still working through some of the logistics of this as far as recording, transcribing meeting minutes, that kind of thing. But we need a secretary position to do council or committee agendas, and then provide feedback between the committee and the city representative, which is myself, to the city council. So the person will be responsible for coordinating with whoever the chair is for the given year. Drafting, and I can always help with all this, but drafting any recommendations that this board has to the council, making sure that we get the meeting notifications, the agendas to the city so that we can post them on the board, that kind of stuff. This is the starting point. We aren't intending for the committee to run tomorrow and be like, it's all on us. I will be here. Amber will still be here. We'll work all through this, but we do need to bring this committee along with the library and the golf committee into compliance. So that's the reason this is on here, just for a little background.
What would be the duration of the position?
So it would run the same duration as the elected advisory committee, so a year. So this one will go until next January. We'll do elections at that point and move.
They would just be responsible for this committee.
Correct. Yeah, you will have no responsibilities outside of this, and I wouldn't want that either. So that's a great question.
I'll put myself up.
Say that again, please.
This is Ian, and I would volunteer for the position.
Well, I think you're the only volunteer, so I think you got it.
Yeah, I think Ian would be a good,
Nobody else wants it?
position. I second his.
So I'll make a
idea.
motion to make Ian the, is it the treasurer?
Secretary.
Secretary, thank you. I make a motion to make Ian Morcott the secretary.
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 You win.
All right.
Congrats, Mr. Secretary.
Can we have that started at the next meeting?
I'll work with you on that, Ian. We'll get
Okay.
everything kind of squared away. It's going to be more than one meeting out. We're going to have to take
Okay.
the right steps to make sure that we have, like I said, the big thing is the transcription piece figured out, which we're working on. But yeah, this isn't going to be throwing in the boat tomorrow. We'll work on it.
Okay.
One of my side projects with our city clerk is to create a template for all of the advisory committee secretaries. That way we have a consistent format across all those. So I'll make sure to get with you, Chris, and
Perfect.
Ian as well, and get that ironed out.
Thank you.
Perfect. If nobody has anything else, we can move on to our next item, which is the discussion/decision on the radio frequency change.
So I guess, forgive my ignorance on this, but I thought we had brought it to city council and city council had voted to not move forward with it. I'm just curious why it ended up back on the agenda and came back with us.
Can you clarify, or would you rather?
I can clarify from our perspective. So it's been brought in front of the council a number of times, both the previous iteration of council and the current. Um, this topic is one that obviously takes a lot of understanding of what the particulars of aviation are. I can tell you, and I won't speak for the rest of the council, but from my position, there was not enough data to make a decision on for a non-aeronautic professional. And I tried to explain that across the entirety of the council that, like, we are not aviators, we're not professionals in this realm, we're not certified, we're not licensed as pilots. None of us that sit up here had the strict qualification that I believe would take to make that decision on behalf of our local aeronautic community. We had varying input across all of the differing facets of locals, our state, and FAA, and frankly, even that made it more confusing for four council members who are not professionals. I'm of the firm belief that if there's not unity in this thing coming from the advice of the airport community and our resources with ITD, our resources with the FAA, that if that's not pretty solidly in conformance to at least that one idea or the other of a yay or nay, we should or shouldn't, that four non-professionals should not make that decision on our own. That's my opinion. That's how that was voiced. What was discussed after that point is, in the position of the city of Mountain Home, if the city of Mountain Home and the structure of authority under law as the legislative intent under Title 50, that whether the council has the power to override a decision that is being made, or if the mayor as the chief executive under the powers of legislature has the right and the duty to maintain operational control of the city day to day. Our city attorney has weighed in and said that the mayor has the administrative authority throughout the city for those day-to-day operations. In talks with Public Works, our airport professionals, our city engineer JUB for the airport, that given the landscape of all things, then this moment it is not necessary to change that airport frequency. Not to say that it will never be that at some point the mindset may shift in the sense that of what priority level that is. However, there are a number of priority levels that have to do with radio frequency that precede that. First and foremost was decommissioning the old weather system, and then looking at AWAS for the future. Obviously, that comes, on our CIP for the airport. That will be set out for some time in the future. I believe that might be kind of penciled for a few years out, 3 years out. So as we move forward to those things, that's what we'll look at. Hopefully to reduce frequency congestion. But that's where we stand at the moment.
So I
Anybody
guess
got
I'm trying
questions?
to say it's back to us to either table it for the future or to unanimously agree that we need to do it now.
So
That's where we're at.
the motion out of the city council was specific to remand the topic back to the airport advisory committee. If there's not a prevailing thought out of the airport advisory committee as a product back to the mayor and council, in strict advice that we're in the majority voting to change this, that the decision for recommendation only comes back to this body. If there's not a consensus or a majority amongst this body, then that's up to this body to table or to take under advisement or to make a decision and advise the mayor and city staff, and that goes back again to the mayor under his executive role throughout the city.
So can I just be clear? So the mayor has the authority to make the decision about whether we're going to change. The
Correct.
Point of that. Knowing him, do you think he would do that without the council's, you know, like,
He,
it would be hard for him, I think, to want to do that without at least getting their pulse on it.
the mayor likely would bring that back as an agenda item with a staff recommendation.
Right.
If that was the consensus, especially with any further data or recommendation. He's consistently done that in other senses, so I believe that he would follow the same thing here. That being said, it's a topic for the Airport Advisory Committee to take up now.
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion.
What's your motion?
I would like to make a motion that the frequency not be changed.
It's a
I'm
little
not sure
early for
that's-
that, isn't it?
Well, no, I'm not sure that that's, I mean, even if we did nothing today and only talked about it, I think that motion would already be like done, like change. So the only change that's going to happen is if we make a motion to change, or we make a motion to table this for the future. So is that what you're asking, Ian? Do you want to just table the topic forever, or
No,
for
I
sometime in
want
the
to
future?
make a motion that the frequency not be changed. Be explicit about it.
I don't see how you could second or vote on that. I'm not sure. I mean, somebody else who's smarter than me would have to figure that out.
It's simple. If somebody else wants to second my motion, then then we can move on to discussion and a vote.
Okay.
I'll second Ian's motion.
Is there any further discussion on that matter?
Sure. Just bring up the point that I think making a motion to not do something is not something you can do as a committee.
So would it be a motion to not recommend, or to recommend to not to change the frequency at this time? Is that how that would? Because I know it couldn't be like, I understand what you're saying. It wouldn't be set in law necessarily, like indefinitely forever.
I see what you're saying. I really do. I see it as I guess what Ian's trying to do in a roundabout way is a clarifying vote of, we took it to the city decided not to act on it, but then they kicked us back to it and said, it almost feels like, are you really sure you don't want to act on it? So I think, are we just looking like, are we going to continue to pursue this, or are we going to let it lie until we decide to bring it back up on the agenda again? So I think it's just clarification that we're not doing anything with it and we're removing it from the agenda? Or are we leaving it on the agenda and moving forward?
But then I think that what you do is you would table it for the future, because
Yeah,
what
and-
you're saying is at no point in the future will we do this. I know you can change your mind, but I don't think that's really the sense of the council or the committee, that we're never going to change the frequency.
So it's a temporal thing, right? The decision is for today. For instance, if for some reason, like UPS and FedEx both opened up large facilities on our property and there was a lot more traffic, then rightfully so, it could be brought back up. But with today's traffic, I'm recommending that we keep the current frequency. We recommend that we keep the current frequency.
I still think it's an inappropriate measure. You just table it. We'll say pick it up when it's necessary. There's no, I mean, you're not going to report to the city council or the mayor that we say don't change it, because that's an action of something that's already in process. Like saying, I don't know.
Hey, you can vote on it, and people can vote that down. I don't.
Okay.
It's a motion. That's the motion. The recommendation is to keep the current frequency. That's the motion. However you want to word it.
And so that's already been seconded, is that correct?
AJ seconded
I'll
that.
make a second to Ian's motion to keep the frequency remaining what it is today.
Any further deliberation on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Should get this straight. Ian is an aye. Jay is an aye.
Steve is an aye.
Steve is an aye. Richard, you're an aye.
Any opposed?
Hey,
just abstain.
Totally good.
It's the same number.
Totally good.
Did the motion carry?
Motion carries.
Motion passed, yep.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is to set a date for our next regular meeting, recommended for July 20th currently.
And that recommendation is based on the set schedule that we was determined.
That's a Tuesday, Monday.
It's a Monday, the 20th. I'm pretty sure it's a Monday. We can't typically meet on Tuesdays. Tuesdays are either city council or, yeah, it's a Monday. City council or planning and zoning. So Monday.
July 20th is Monday. Good with July 20th.
Good for July 20th.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
That's good with me.
I don't, do we have, is that a motion?
Yeah, we're
I
gonna-
make a motion to make the next meeting July 20th, Monday, July 20th.
I'll second.
Any further discussion on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We've reached the end of our agenda. Anything else? The meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, guys.
I will reach out to you, Mr. Morcott.
Very good.
Thank you, Ian.
Okay, we are
Talk
done
later.
recording. Good.